Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Umpty. Welcome, Campbell's. Campbell's, I gotta ask before I even introduce my guest tonight, what is the obsession with dumplings this evening? Because I don't have dumplings. If you would have told me in advance that you wanted a dumpling night, I could have done a dumpling night.
Yeah, I don't blame you though. Dumplings are great. So
dumplings are good. I get in those moods where I have to go to a Chinese restaurant and get those themed dumplings, with the almost like a teriyaki sauce kind of that goes with it.
Yeah, I have no idea what the sauce is, but it just is perfect every time. I agree.
Hey, Johnny. Long time no talk.
What's up, Johnny?
Sharon, what's going on? Welcome. So everyone, I want to introduce you to the lady known as SADDBones. I met her through JLH. And yes, Canada. So and I know that she's been friends with Johnny Funko and his wife, and so she was actually helping me prep for my interview last week with Johnny because I didn't realize that I needed questions until the last minute. So then I was like, okay, is it okay to ask this? Is it not okay to ask this? Hey, Mom, how are you?
Oh, hello.
My mom's on here because I did buy her a green bean casserole. In fact, I got the last 2 green bean casserole pizzas in Aldi's.
Oh my gosh. I need to know, I'm so excited to know how it tastes because, come on.
It's literally smells like green bean casserole. It's crazy.
It looks like it. So I'm impressed. You also cooked it to perfection. So good job.
Yeah, well, cause I cannot handle when it's soggy thin crust. If you're doing a thin crust, it's got to be that kind of crunchy cracker almost type of crust. I mean, it's still pretty soft in the middle, and it's got that crispy crack to it. But yeah. And this is all my mom's fault. I wasn't going to eat anything tonight. We were just going to have conversation, and all of a sudden my mom's like, oh, check this out. Aldi's has cranberry turkey stuffing, ravioli, and green bean casserole pizza. And I was like,
ravioli? Bing. Wow, that's even cool too. Yeah, what the heck? Wow. Thanksgiving in the States sounds so interesting. You guys have cool food though in general, just in general.
Well, see, okay. It's difficult because I was reading and prepping for this online. Okay. And so based on, and that's why I wanted to talk to you, because based on what I read, our Thanksgivings are similar.
Very similar.
But yours goes in what, October?
Yeah, we celebrate it October 11th.
Is it always October 11th? It doesn't move like ours. Ours is the last Thursday in November.
It's been that. So ours falls on the second Monday of October, so okay. Which is the 11th, but that's been the case ever since 1957. That's
okay. So. But from what I read, it kind of similar background. So yes. Obviously it's bred into us kids when we start elementary school. They do the cute little holiday plays and stuff, and someone's the Pilgrims and someone's the American Indians, and it's very much fantasized that it was all rainbows and puppies and everybody was getting along, which I don't think is true. But supposedly there was this come together of this big feast, and it always has the cornucopia of all these squashes and pumpkins and everything else. And now it's football and turkey.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Hello.
Caitlin remembered me this week.
You saying that is actually sticks out because I know that I believe the history or the origin of where we both had European settlers come to different parts of our lands and settle here and share their food with the Native Americans. But I guess one thing that a lot of things that it was not talked about a lot for a very long time was that the indigenous people actually shared their food with us, right from the beginning as well. And to the point where cranberries actually originated from the indigenous people because they gave it to us to the Europeans to help cure scurvy when they came over on the boat. So I thought that was
all the vitamin C.
Yeah.
Going on, Nadia, and Mark just jumped in too. I got a ton of Canadians here. I think I got more Canadians here than I do Americans.
Yeah, you got lots. It's a whole raid of Canadians. Look at that. Hi guys, how's everyone doing?
Yeah, Mom, you need to talk to Sharon because you two have green thumbs and you guys would get along perfectly. So follow her on Instagram. I will send you the link, and you need to follow Sharon and follow her channel too on YouTube, because she's got a bunch of videos where she's like planting plants and shows off her gardens. You two would love each other.
I think she actually recently followed me, and I just need to, I haven't reached out, so I will do that. So thank you for the recommendation, and thank you for already extending your warm hand of welcome and friendship. But yeah.
Yeah, my I've having so much fun. Let me copy this real quick. So much fun with my parents on this channel, and it's been a good time. And my mom's got a bunch of great ideas, and I'm constantly getting like text messages when I'm at work. And hey, look at this! It's a slow cooker cranberry sauce. And hey, look at this! It's this. And hey, look at this! And she's really, really, really wants to do Star Wars night. So that is one thing that will be coming up hopefully before the end of the year. Is we're gonna do. She bought me a Star Wars. I don't know where it's at. Cookbook, and it's got all the recipes that they do at the Disney Star Wars, the new ones, the new areas. I'll have to find it. So we're gonna do that, and then I want to do Harry Potter inspired recipes and that kind of fun stuff. So
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so just throwing that out there.
I can't wait to do butterbeer. I really want to, and I found like non-alcohol versions and alcoholic versions, and I'm going to do the alcohol version.
That's awesome. You know what? We should, if you want to ever do it, I'll do the non-alcoholic version. And there you go.
There you go. Soupy wants to know where you got the name SADDBones from.
So it actually originated like from a gamer tag.
Oh, okay.
It was like my very first like PlayStation, and I couldn't think of anything other than the fact that I'm like depressed a lot. And then I was like, but like that's not just me, like whatever. And then I'm like, but I'm also in pain a lot. So I was like, I'm just going with it. So I went SADDBones, kind of stuck. And then it was funny because my channel ended up just being hopefully about sharing positivity and good vibes out in the world, and not talking, not preaching about my depression and stuff like that, right? It was really a way to escape it in a sense.
So, you said you started about the pandemic, which is about the same time I started on YouTube. And I mean, do you think that you starting your channel and talking to the people you did, has it been like a therapeutic thing that's kept you in a better place?
Oh, I think so. Like, definitely. Also, I think it's really kept my social skills up during that during the pandemic time, because not leaving the house was really difficult, because like I'm very used to like, even if it's just going to see family or like my best friend or something like that, it's always trying to spend time together. But when that all happened, like I think like just being able to connect with people in different ways really, really mattered. So people really helped me, I would say, through a lot of stuff. So I'm very grateful for everybody that's helped me get where I am. So.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to watch you, but it's like one of those things, like I can watch you and completely chillax. It's like you don't. It's not one of those things where you feel like you have to go, and it's kind of like cool conversation, very relaxed. And
I try to be silly sometimes just to make sure people are hopefully laughing. I don't know. It just depends on how my mood that day.
No, absolutely. And thank you to everybody. I know there's a ton of shows on tonight, so thank you to everybody who's here.
Thank you so
Nani
much.
says you're an amazing person, SADDBones, and friend. Big hugs.
You guys are all absolutely wonderful, and I also would like to say thank you. Sorry, I'm really. Oh, there's me apologizing, but like I'm not great at doing interviews, so I just appreciate you giving me this opportunity. So.
Oh no! Hey, welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you. I'm not a big gamer, but I did. So Lisa, we went to take her daughter to her fiance's house this weekend, and she started driving, and she's like, "Hey, I really want to go to this. You sure you don't want to go to this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I got to get back to do my niece's cake." And she said, "Let's just go check it out." And I'm like, she's like, "It's super close." So we ended up going to this Knights of Columbus Hall, which is like a group, that you can join. I don't know exactly how you get to be a member or whatever, but she thought it was a collectible show. So she thought they were going to have like Funko Pops and all that kind of stuff. And they did to an extent. But what they did have was all retro gaming. So they had everything from the old Colecos to the Ataris. They had game cabinets. They had all kinds of stuff. And it was actually really cool because I geeked out for a few minutes. One of the guys had just purchased a Commodore 64, like the old computer. And I remember the disk drive. Like that was the first disk drive that I remember my dad bringing home with the big floppy disks.
Yes. Oh my gosh. What was your very first game you played on the computer? If you or like thing, yeah.
I want to say, and I don't remember if we had the Atari or the Commodore first. I'm not really sure. I want to say we may have had the Atari, the old school Atari 2600 first, and with the paddles and all that kind of stuff. And so it may have been Tank that my brother and I played first.
Okay, all right.
And Pitfall was my favorite. I loved playing Pitfall, and then Sequest. Those were my two games that I loved playing. And then when we got the computer with the old dot matrix printer with the, heaven forbid that paper get skewed just a little bit. It ripped off the edges, and then you couldn't, it was bad. But we had Myst for that. We had Carmen Sandiego for that.
Wow.
What else did we have? We had a bunch of different games, and people would copy them. If you remember that, you could like copy on those floppy disks and stuff.
Yeah, and also, so like I was on like the very brink of playing floppy disk games. Like I did in elementary school, probably. Like that's what we kind of like learned on and stuff like that. And also like because like I didn't have my own computer until I was like probably late high school, right? But my grandma had a computer and she was like amazing, and she was the one that taught me everything about like computers, electronics, but I actually was never allowed to play video games growing up. So it was like when I eventually was able to like reach out and start playing, the PlayStation 4 was like I got like the cheapest one they had or whatever, and I just kind of ever since then have been trying to find my niche of what I like. Mm-hmm. But I realized I really like computer games because that's where I started, was like playing those.
Now my uncle is a huge computer gamer. And Umpty says I had to settle for a Radio Shack colored computer or a Coco when I was a kid. We couldn't afford a Commodore 64, but my school had them when I was 12, first computers in school. After the Atari, we had the Atari for a while, and then it jumped up to the original Nintendo. Like, I remember my neighbor had the robot that went with it, and it looked like he was holding a joystick. I don't remember what the robot's name was, and it was very short-lived, this little robot guy that moved around. Like, I don't know if he played with you on a game or, something. And I remember, we were like big on Duck Hunt, because literally the TV was the size of a dresser nowadays, it was in the big wooden cabinet and everything. And, playing all the, Super Mario Brothers and figuring out how to get to level 8 really quick and all that kind of stuff. But what I saw this weekend, which really took me back, was they had a Power Glove.
For the Nintendo?
For the Nintendo. They wanted like $300 for it, but I was literally like, if I would have had $300, I probably would have bought it, because I was like, I can remember watching the movie The Wizard, where, that kid with Lucas with the, the feathered hair, pretty much looks like kids do now, and he's all playing with the Power Glove.
And it reminds me of Back to the Future, just because like it's like so futuristic, like of what I hoped that our future would sort of be like, but just never really.
We never had the Power Glove, but I do remember some of my friends did, and so I got to play with it on occasion. And there was also a floor model of the Atari, like a pad that you could like run. So like there would be like running games, and you would run back and forth on these big giant padded buttons, if you will. Hashtag never seen it, not shocked. That's the shirt that I need, is never seen it, not shocked. Who never tried to try? Oh, of course he tried to shoot the duck hunting dog because he laughed and was annoying.
Exactly. Hashtag never seen it. I love that.
And then after that, I kind of got to the age where I was kind of out of gaming. I remember my brother's got an N64, and I liked playing Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Okay, yeah.
I played that and Sonic. That was pretty much the only 2 games I played on that. And then once they got into like the Xboxes and PlayStations and stuff, like totally lost me. And then came Wii. Loved Wii.
Yeah, I know. I need, that's the one thing that I've yet to be able to purchase is a Nintendo. I want one so badly. Like I just like the newer, like a Wii or the new
Switch.
Oh the Switch. The Switch is beautiful.
Yeah, Lisa's daughter's got one in the Switch. I haven't played it yet. I do have a Wii that still works, and I've got the guitars for like Guitar Hero and stuff. So like if it's snowing out and I'm not going anywhere, I will totally sit in my grandma's old recliner in front of my 60-inch television and jam out on Guitar Hero. That's but amazing. I only play like the easy level, or not easy. I think it's the next level up that only has the 3 colors because I cannot get all 5 fingers working on that guitar.
The fact that you can even do that is impressive because, like, yeah, no. When we had a Wii, we had one at my dad's for a couple of years. Probably when I turned 16, we got it for Christmas, and he ended up playing it almost daily because he played Tiger Woods golf on it, and he loved it. Mm-hmm. And it was like I kind of liked the Wii games, and then I did the Wii Resort. That was fun. But like I never fell into playing it because my dad he just loved his Tiger Woods game.
Right.
And he played it so much it broke the Wii. So it's okay. But I would love to get him another one because it was something that he really enjoyed. And it's something that I think it was so innovative to have something that is so interactive. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I see that as the beginnings of actual virtual reality and using that. The fact that your arm motions would, carry over to the video screen. And then I upgraded to the Kinect because I thought the Kinect was super cool. And I actually had my volleyball team over and we were all, it was like end of season. We'd won the league and we were all like cocktailing and playing volleyball and, jumping around. My whole house is shaking. We had them over at Lisa's house. I mean, it was just a good time. And, that's the last video game system that I bought. I bought some of the retro little things like pocket games that you could take with you and stuff like that. I had Atari 2600 and stuff on that, but my dad says you can have the Commodore 64 in the basement. I thought you gave that to David.
Oh my gosh.
I thought they gave that away to the neighbor's son.
There you go.
If you didn't, I'm snagging that. I will hook that up and I will live stream playing Commodore 64 games.
I would watch that. Yeah, my favorite retro gaming, because like I watch a lot of gaming streams. It's honestly why I started to stream. Wishing that I could, wishing going back, I knew that you needed a program to share like your screen from a PlayStation. Didn't have that, but Super Smash Bros. Is one of my favorite games to watch live. Because I haven't played that yet. So much fun.
What's the game that Allie and John were playing where all the people are running and there's like a course and people fall off the sides and everything? I don't know what that game was, but I was cracking up.
Oh my gosh, that game makes me so... Oh, no, sorry. Not Fall Guys. Oh my gosh, that game makes me want to fall off a cliff. That game, but it's great. It's like, those are the games I like the fun, like random, all those stuff.
Yeah, I'm not good at like the shooting ones. Like my brother wanted me to play Call of Duty with him one night, and I was like, I got shot like every 3 seconds. He's like, "Would you duck or something?" I'm like, I don't even know how to aim. Like, can you tell me how this works?
I learned actually how to play shooting games on my own by playing Fortnite. That's how I learned to play shooting game, and now I've worked my way up to Apex Legends. But I put me in Fortnite, I can do something, right? Well, then you throw me in Apex Legends, I have no clue. I'm getting shot, and everyone's like, all right, well, we're not playing with SADDBones anymore.
Mom, what's the game? My brother, he bought a Alienware computer, and he was in a gaming guild, and then he would travel around and go to gaming contests and stuff, but I can't remember what the game was that he used to play. I don't know if it was Call of Duty or something else. Let me ask him.
Yeah, I'm curious. You can get an emulator for a lot of the old games and play them on your computer. That's true. And also, you've had almost every retro set. I know Johnny when he came down to visit, brought the Xbox and the 360. and we didn't get to play it, but I wanted to because he has lots of cool games that I remember like Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2. Look at that.
I'll go in and get on the same server as my brother and be like, gotcha.
Gotcha.
That's why I won't play shooting games in my hubby. I can't shoot at all. No, I'm horrible. I was running around like Annalise is really good at Fortnite, and I can sit there and I'm just mesmerized watching her and building like the steps and walls and all this other stuff, and all of a sudden she's on this like monocopter thing and flying around. Yeah, my uncle he did like he was big into World of Warcraft and a few other things that
World of Warcraft,
the virtual worlds and stuff like that at first, and he was huge into that. I don't know how much he plays anymore because he's in a band now, but
I just recently picked up my very first deck of Magic the Gathering cards, and I've been playing the online version, and I'm officially obsessed with it. But I've always loved cards in general. I used to do Magic. That's like I used to like sit here and, well, not in this position, but like watch YouTube for hours learning to do Magic. And don't ask me to do anything. I couldn't even remember it now. But like it was like I'm very like, once I find something I like, I just keep doing it, and then it usually leaves my mind for a bit.
Like I mean I do play. I mean I play games on my phone, but when they're like, I have like these types of games. Like I have coloring and like Evermerge, and
Okay, yeah.
I have like Jeopardy,
Solitaire. That's a must on every phone.
It's a good time. I mean, like if you're like waking up in the morning, like I run through and I play. There's Dice with Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh.
And so it's playing Yahtzee, basically what it is. But there's all kinds of themes, and you can get new dice. And they had Back to the Future dice, which I thought were super cool.
Oh, that's actually, I did not know that. That's really cool.
Caitlin says, I know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the only nerd card game I know.
See, I love the artwork of Yu-Gi-Oh! But I've never played, and I've also never played Pokemon.
I have played Pokemon because I got into the cards for a hot second because Fox, my brother, he basically like, you got to try this out. And then he got into the Garbage Pail Kids, and I loved Garbage Pail Kids, and then it turned into Pokemon. I have a book somewhere.
Garbage Pail Kids, that I could get into collecting. I also love the DC Legends cards from Cryptozoic, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a deck building game, but I love like DC. That's probably my favorite. Like if I had to choose over DC over Marvel, that's why when everyone talks about Avengers, I'm like, it's okay.
My mom says Trey plays Minecraft and has his own server. And I know my nephew plays Minecraft too. And my brother was trying to convince me this weekend. He's like, you need to play it. He's like, you will get hooked because you can pretty much do anything you want. It's like your own world.
You get lost in it for hours and you don't even realize. Like, I think I spent like honestly 2 hours building a house, and it's because it wasn't even that big. It was like held a bed and a bathroom or something like that. And it was an imaginary bathroom. And I was like so into it. And honestly, Minecraft's great. I would love to get into that again.
Yeah, I have not, because I thought it was like a kid's game, because I've always seen stuff geared towards like little kids, and like my nephew's 10. So, but I didn't realize until my nephew started watching YouTube videos on how these guys are building these crazy, amazing things and worlds and mansions and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, and then I was like, I can't judge because I have a room full of 700 of these things, so don't judge.
That's what I feel. They don't judge. And one of my favorite YouTubers, he's actually also from Canada, from Canada. I mean, oh goodness. His name's Mudahar. And he plays, like, he's a bigger YouTuber, and he plays Minecraft, and he was the one that kind of inspired me.
Hey, Sass. Good luck tonight on your show. Hey, Shep.
There's so many people here. I'm sorry. I'm not reading the chat as well. I'm trying to.
Oh no, I get lost. Like, I get in conversations. Like, we've been having this conversation. And I'm looking, but I'm at the same time. I'm like, and that's what I do. There's certain shows where I'm horrible about watching the chat, and then there's certain shows where I'm great about watching it.
Yes, I agree.
It just all depends. And No, tonight I've been able to because you're very much talking back to me. It's the nights where someone's not talking, where I'm like watching everything on the chat, and then the nights when I'm having conversation with everybody, I'm like, well, someone said, well,
yeah. I know it's hard because like the chat they help so much carry conversation when you are either alone or if like let's say like there's dead air or whatever. That's what I found was so cool about like doing my like when I started streaming, like people just came and chatted and I just like was talking to no one, and it's right. I'm like, you know what, it's like my inner thoughts just coming out. It was kind of cool that way.
Well, I've always said it, it doesn't matter to me if I have one person, if I have nobody watching or if I have 500 people watching, it doesn't matter to me. I don't do this for, the subs. I don't do this for how many views I get. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm doing this because I'm having fun. And if someone finds something that they like to watch, great. I have such a good time with my parents. It's something that we've been able to connect and do too. And it combines my love of these crazy little things and that.
And I agree. Like it's also like the people that you get to meet and like the experiences you get to have. Like it's kind of always been a dream that you thought was sort of like in my mind that was like sort of unattainable. But YouTube has always been really interesting to me, and it's cool.
My brother said he played Counter-Strike. He played in tournaments that had $150,000 purses. Played for a team that was ranked in the top 30 in the world at one point.
Oh my gosh. One of my old favorite streamers I watched played Counter-Strike a lot. I never was able to get into that. That game was so intense, but the fact that he played for tournaments, if he streams, you gotta let me know because I'll watch him.
he doesn't because he has 3 kids and work and everything. He pretty much, hey Tats, how are you? Pretty much just it's hunting season right now. Like button. Oh, that's the one I'm supposed to click. Sorry, my bad. Ha ha. This is why Caitlin is like the sister that I'm glad my mother never gave birth to.
She's I love her. I like she's just a nice person, and then also her online persona is like through chats and stuff is so like
she has an evil streak
and wonderful.
A very evil streak. Mr. Crispers. If it's not for Funkos, I wouldn't have found my Cajun cream. That's what she said. It's been so many, and like somebody made a great analogy, and I can't remember if it was you or someone I was talking to recently made the analogy like it's like we're all in the cafeteria and we all have our little tables, and I'm true of the same thing. Is that I have my little table of really close people, and speaking of that, before we go any further, someone that I think we both know, happy birthday to Marissa from PopFids HQ. It is her birthday today. Please go wish her a happy birthday on her IG page. Aurora did a really cool little video for her mom's birthday. But make sure you guys give Marissa some love today because it's her actual birthday today. So much love to Marissa, PopVids HQ. Love you guys. She's part of one of my cafeteria tables, which is my cocktails and crafting group that it went from a very small group to now there's like 7-8 of us now, something like that. And it's okay. Yeah, he went to New York City for Counter-Strike, and it's just fun. But that's like my one table, and then I have like the JLH table. Like I like to get up and move around and sit with different groups, and then it was like bringing you in. I want to get Johnny on, and his wife on here as well, and so bringing new people in so that those tables keep growing.
Exactly. I like that like analogy as well, because it was like for once you can actually write your own, like in that sense, like you don't need to just choose one table. You can make friends in all different. It's like there's so many amazing people in all the communities, like in general, that I've been like reached out to, and I think it's inspiring to see how friendly and everybody has been. Do you know what I mean? And welcoming.
Hey, Teresa Newell, how are you, my dear? One of the things that I started talking to you about too recently was John and Allie's Monopoly, Trick or Treatopoly.
Honestly, absolutely amazing. I watched.
Do you not want one of those infinity tables now?
Yeah, just to let you know, in Canada, they're like $1,700. So, one day if I win the lottery, God, but I've never had so much fun watching a board game before.
Oh, I know, it was a blast, and I know that we all had a little bit of skin in it, so you were like waiting to see where they were going to land. But my favorite parts of those 13 days of Halloween that they did, and playing the Monopoly on the Infinity game table, was their interactions with each other on whether they were doing trades and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff was hilarious.
Oh, like JLH's comedy, I mean, like commentary got just better and better with every episode. Like it was like I just got blown away. It was an amazing. It's very similar. Like it's the content that I really enjoy being put out, because even I think it was your Easy Bake Oven, that was like episode that was really fun to watch, because
The
it's
first
like,
one when I ate the 8-year-old cake, or the last one?
no, the first one with the 8-year-old cake, because it reminded me of, it's like, I wonder if when I was a child, if I would have eaten what you experienced, if I would have had the same reaction. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's really cool, because I never got to have one, but yeah.
Oh, that cake had a funk to it that was just, I could not get that like taste out of my mouth at
Oh
all.
no.
So,
No.
circling back to why I had you here. So,
Okay.
your Thanksgiving is on a Monday, ours is on a Thursday. So, that's the first big difference. Now, but I read, though, that the menus are similar. Like, you guys do like pumpkin pie and turkey and everything else. Is that true, or is it completely different in Canada?
No, we do as well, like turkey, pumpkin pie, all that stuff. We also like are known for doing roast beef a lot,
Okay.
ham sometimes too. It just
We
depends
do
on.
ham at Easter, and we do the roast beef or prime rib or whatever at Christmas time.
Yeah, at Christmas it's sort of the same. We do turkey as well, and roast. It's more like a smorgasbord. We have the whole family. Well, before the pandemic, we would have the whole family down and everything. And Thanksgiving was similar in that sense. It was until I think I turned like 17. I started to cook Thanksgiving dinner on my own. God, you had mentioned that you and your wife have like it down to a pact on how to get that stuff. Like,
Yeah, my mom and I have it down to a
your
science.
mom, sorry.
So, tip number one for you guys: the big mistake is, obviously, turkeys. They come whole unless you do a turkey breast, but they take up so much oven space. So what my mom and I do is we actually cook it the weekend or two before the turkeys. So we brine them for 24 hours. I do apple cider, oranges, cinnamon, all the kind of warm spices, rosemary, sage, all that kind of stuff in a brine. And we put them, in a big giant cooler to brine overnight. And then I also make a compound butter with the same sort of Thanksgiving spices. So your sage, your rosemary, your thyme, and garlic and all that stuff. And then we put that underneath the skin.
Okay, yeah.
So we actually did a comparison. One we just did the compound butter on one year, and one we brined it and then in to see. And the brine one was way juicier. So what my mom does is then she carves it and puts them in the aluminum pans that you can get at the grocery store.
Okay.
So that it's about the same size or same width as any other casserole or whatever that you're putting in the oven. So we can actually do multiple things at once. And we're not taking up 3/4 of the oven with the turkey. So we've gotten it down to knowing when we need to slide things in, how long they take, so that everything, with the exception of the gravy, which always seems to be the last thing that gets done, it comes out on time. It comes out at the same point. Tip number 2 is with my mashed potatoes. I actually have a pressure cooker. So if you have an Instapot or a pressure cooker, it only takes about 15 minutes to do mashed potatoes.
Did you hear that? 15 minutes? I've had a pressure cooker, and just let you know, it's sitting on top of my fridge, and I've had it for almost 2 years, and I don't touch it because I'm like, this is too difficult. You just blew my mind.
No, we'll peel the potatoes. I dice them up, anywhere between a half an inch to an inch cubes. I put them in there with chicken stock, garlic, cloves, and then you seal it up. I would say probably 2 to 3 cups of chicken stock and and like 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. pop them in the pressure cooker, let them go for 15, maybe 20 minutes, depending on how much you have in there. I mean, I filled my bad boy up, and at that point, you're putting pretty much the whole thing of chicken stock in. But then when it comes out, using half and half and butter, because the heavier fat that you have in whatever you're using, a lot of people just like to throw milk in there, but that's why your mashed potatoes stiffen up so much, and then they're like bricks when you're done. If you use a heavier fat. So I know it's not the healthiest thing in the world. Yes, why don't you wait? You don't deep fry the turkey in the living room? I mean, if you want an exciting holiday, you have drunk a few times. No thanks.
I've never deep fried a turkey. That's scary to me. But anybody that has, I give you all the kudos, because I've seen people with turkeys explode. Also, it's okay that we've never met Mr. Crisper.
Oh, he's hilarious. I love Mr. Crisper.
So you seem great. Just hello, nice to see you.
Yeah, you guys would get along great. Yes, Johnny, we actually do the breast down so the juices run down, and there's a lot of people that like to stuff their bird full of well, it depends on where you are in the world. I don't know what you call it, stuffing, dressing. There's parts of the country that call it dressing. There's parts of the world, that call it stuffing. And if I understand, the difference is technically supposed to be one of those is when you put it actually in the bird, and one is when it's on the side. We don't use the giblets or anything in our stuffing. It's we do toast our own bread, and this has been a recipe that's been in my family for generations. That's going to be up on the Patreon page, you guys. I will probably put some of the Thanksgiving stuff, the family stuff, up for free as well. So you get I just want you guys to see some of this stuff and maybe try some of this stuff. But I've heard that it's super bad to actually put the stuffing in the bird. Number one, it takes the bird longer to cook. Number two, half the time people are not getting the stuffing that has egg in it and stuff up to temperature, and so a lot of people get sick that way.
That makes a lot of sense. I actually stopped cooking the stuffing inside the bird. I thought it was just because I was like saving time, but maybe the fact that it's better is even better. I don't make my own homemade one though. That's amazing. Hello, Quick. What's up?
Hi, buddy. We were just talking about you. Your ears must have been ringing.
Yeah, we were talking up your amazing Monopoly.
The other thing that I do differently is in certain grocery stores, it's not in all of them, but some of your big box stores, Campbell's actually has a version, not Campbell's Collecting, Campbell's Soup has a version. It is a roasted garlic cream of mushroom soup.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I use that for the green bean casserole that I make. Okay. And one year, which I actually thought was the best year, but I've gone back to using the other ones, is that they had caramelized onion, French fried onions instead of just the normal ones. And so you had that kind of sweet and salty element on the top. Oh, man.
That sounds absolutely amazing. Holy wow.
I love oyster stuffing. My mom doesn't put the oysters in it. That's more of an East Coast thing. With the oyster, the cornbread stuffing is more of a Southern Western thing. But it's interesting to try those, and we've tried different ones. I make my own cranberry sauce as well.
Okay, cool. I love cranberry sauce.
It's not that hard. I mean, literally, you open the bag of cranberries, you throw it in with some sugar and some orange juice and some water and a little bit of cinnamon and ginger and stuff, and let it cook until the berries start popping. You'll actually hear them. And then I use the mashed potato masher, and I just mash them up until there's a few chunks left, but most of it is smooth. And then put it in the refrigerator, and it sets.
Cool. That actually sounds wonderful. It doesn't sound difficult. The thing is like the fact that you've gotten it down to the science of figuring out to pre-cook the turkey is very smart, because that was my mom. Yeah. Oh, your mom. Yeah, right.
Well, I'll give her all that.
You go.
The only thing you don't get when we do it that way is obviously like the crispy skin and stuff that, the day of.
Of course,
but other than that, I mean, the flavor comes through because I use oranges and everything in the brine, and so you get like the orange flavor coming through, and the rosemary and even some of the apple cider coming through. And luckily, she saves the drippings from the two turkeys, and then she saves that so that she still makes the stuffing or the gravy with the drippings, the fat that comes out of the turkeys and stuff like that. So yeah. And Umpty, you can't just say a sawdust pie and not explain.
Yeah, what's that? What's sawdust pie?
What's a sawdust pie?
What is that? I actually barbecue my turkey, and that I've gotten that down to a science now, but I end up focusing so much on the turkey because I get too scared near the end it's gonna burn or whatever, or overcook it. But also I a couple years ago, about 4 years ago now, I went for bariatric surgery, and let me tell you, it completely changed the way that I cook because I went from being able to know what a real portion is to now the one day I cooked for a family Thanksgiving dinner, and I think I only cooked like 6 potatoes. It was not enough. It was not enough food.
We always have way too much, which is good because then like we fill the containers and we have leftovers. Like I just went to Target this weekend and they had a 30-piece set of Rubbermaid with the lids that stack together up to 14 cups, and it was $7.99. It was like 90% off. It was ridiculous.
It's a great deal.
And so I grabbed one because I was like, all I could think was, I haven't even taken it out of the car yet because all I'm thinking is Thanksgiving. We're going up to Lisa's family's, so I'm just going to leave that with my mom and have her also, make me like a leftovers package of goodies to go home with too.
That's amazing.
So I get basically 2 different Thanksgiving dinners. We alternate years.
Yeah, now it's like that with like my partner's family, and also with my dad. He does usually a big Thanksgiving dinner if he can, but like growing up, I was like living with my mom, so like I tried, like that's when I like tried to cook a lot more, but I haven't actually tried to cook turkey. But now I feel inspired, and I kind of just want to do a Thanksgiving dinner for no reason. Well, other than I could sell. Oh my god, there's a reason. I always forget. It's because we celebrate it so much earlier that it's like
it blew my mind. Like I saw posts from people, saying, "Oh, Thanksgiving and whatever," and I was like, "That's crazy." I'm like, "It's in October," because it's like I'm thinking because you guys border us. Like if you have a Thanksgiving, then it should be around the same time as ours, and that's the wrong way to think because obviously.
Yeah,
nobody's better than anybody else, but I'm just like, why isn't your Thanksgiving when ours is? And then ours were, well, if you live in Detroit or Dallas, Texas, ours also revolves around football because Detroit Lions always play a Thanksgiving game. Why they get a Thanksgiving game? Because they stink so bad? I don't know.
See, sports other than hockey really isn't, and I'm not even a big sports gal, but like hockey's really big in Canada, but that's about the main, like, I think like football and everything matters. Like over the years, I feel like we've adopted a lot of your like traditions, like a lot of football, like celebrating Black Friday. I'm very curious what like, because here we legitimately just celebrate it because we have sales. That's it. Like there's no like reason, rhyme, or anything.
So Umpty just sent me a link so we can find out what sawdust pie is.
Okay.
Hang on one second. Let's pull this bad boy up.
Right, Caitlin? Hello, Mr. Arcade Pop. How are you?
Oh, hey, Arcade. I didn't see you come in. I apologize. All right. Let's pull up. This is something I might have to try. Sawdust pie, a family favorite. How to make delicious sawdust pie.
Whoa, that looks really good.
Well, it's got oats in it. I see that.
Is it banana?
What is this? What? Never had sawdust pie before. I really do feel it could become a fast family favorite. Rich and buttery with whipped cream and sliced bananas make it a sheer perfection. I just use store-bought pie shells for mine. Ain't no shame in my game.
Love that.
Make yours from scratch if you prefer. I never make pie crust by scratch. I always buy like the refrigerated kind. This sawdust pie is easy. Egg whites galore. It's a sign. This has got egg whites in it. Okay. Oh, Paducah. We have friends in Paducah, Kentucky. Whipped cream and bananas for dessert.
I'll take
that. Patties sometime in 1978 became famous at that. It was published in Bon Appetit. It looks like sawdust, but honestly, it has so many wonderful flavors. Okay, what's in it? Walnuts. That's it.
Pecans?
Eggs, walnuts, or pecans. Coconut. My dad won't eat it. Sugar, graham cracker crumbs, pie crust, whipped cream, and bananas.
It kind of like it sounds like a banana, like oh my gosh, what do we call them? sticky bars, or I don't know. I don't know what the names are, but it sounds amazing.
Add walnuts, pecans. Want walnuts instead. You add the coconut. Well, I don't want your ad. I'm just trying to figure out what you do.
What do you mean?
White sugar. And then the graham cracker crumbs. Interesting. You put the graham cracker crumbs in the filling. Mix all of that up good with a spoon.
That looks amazing.
I really want to try this now. Thanks, Humpty.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm never going to be skinny after I started this channel. Ever.
It's fair.
That looks really interesting. I don't know about the banana part on top of it, but I mean, I would be willing to try it the way that it's supposed to be done.
There you go. Are you not a banana fan?
I love banana pudding. Actually, I do. It's weird though. I don't think of like. I guess I should think of that combination because it's graham crackers, whipped cream, bananas. I mean, that goes together. I don't see like the coconut thing. I guess is what's throwing me off with that.
Yeah,
maybe
I agree.
Know.
I'm not a huge coconut fan, as the great Zombieland would say. It's not the taste; it's the consistency. It's I just have issues with it.
Pot rolls. Ooh, I would try those.
Pork chops.
With strawberry butter. I love strawberry butter. Absolutely love it. Nani says, I love coconut. I love lamp. All right, I can't stop. All I can smell is this pizza.
So no, please. I need
to try. It's actually cooled off now. So hopefully it's still good. I can't stand, I'm just warning you guys, I cannot stand green beans. This is like the worst vegetable. But the reviews were good on this, so.
I don't do coconut either.
I'm not joking. It tastes just like green bean casserole.
Seriously? It's good?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay. See,
it's good that it's on a thin crust.
Like, why don't we have that here? I'm going to have to start looking out.
Do you have Aldi's?
No, we do not have Aldi's.
No, you don't have Aldi's. Okay.
No.
Did you make? No, I got this at Aldi's. It's a green bean casserole pizza. So it's got the green beans and the French fried onions. I'm assuming it's the cream of mushroom soup as the sauce on the crust. And then cheese. And it's yeah, they added sugar. Shut up, Mom. Coconut is best served by Rowdy Piper to Jimmy Superfly Snooka's head. There we go. I'm glad they did it on the thin crust. I think if you would have done a regular pizza crust, though, it would have taken away. It's insane, though. I mean, like, if you think about green bean casserole and every single flavor that you taste when you do that is exactly what this does. Mom, you're lucky I grabbed you the last one.
Yeah, you get to enjoy some. Yes. Also, JLH, coconut is best served by Rowdy Piper. Roddy Piper was my dad's favorite wrestler.
If I can find another one, I can probably freeze it, but we'd have to overnight it to you.
True. Yeah.
And you guys are weird. Like, shipping to you guys as far as like trying to get anything into your country, like I ship things to Canada. You have to like, it's like, what's in here? I'm like, I don't know, Christmas presents. Is that good enough, or are you going to return it at the border?
And then also it's like, usually they charge us money, at least 23, 20, sometimes 40, depends, whatever they want, for us to release the package to us. So I'm looking forward. I'm hoping sending it to you won't be difficult, because I'm really looking forward to sending the package. I'm keeping it a secret, but there's some good Canadian classics in it.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
You like maple syrup?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. No, good. Okay.
Yeah, no, I am like a huge like breakfast person. I love making like waffles, chicken and waffles. So like, if you add hot sauce to the maple syrup, just like real maple syrup, if you add hot sauce to it, and then do crispy waffles, and then go get chicken. So, and we're talking like straight up fried chicken with the bones in it, and then douse it in the hot maple syrup. Oh man.
I've only ever had chicken and waffles from Denny's because nowhere does a good chicken and waffles. And I'm sorry, but it was just chicken nuggets. It was sort of sad. I was sad about it.
I try it usually, like, if we go to a new restaurant and I see they have a chicken and waffles, I will try it. Honest to goodness, one of my favorite ones is a chain restaurant called Chili's. I love their chicken and waffles.
Do we have a Chili's here?
Because it's kind of like a spicy honey chipotle, I think is what sauce is on it, like barbecue sauce on the chicken. And then they have these little tiny sweet waffles that are underneath it. And then, as odd as this sounds, the avocado ranch.
Oh, I love avocado in general, so that sounds amazing. I love guacamole. I used to be extremely picky, but now I'm like, I'm just gonna try everything just for the fun of it. Even though spicy foods do not go well I cry. Actually, I had an experience where there's a place Niagara on the Lake in Ontario here.
Don't do it. Yeah. Don't ever do it.
I couldn't, like, well, let's put it this way. Me and my cousin walked in to a place. We decided to try, he talked us into trying a hot sauce.
Uh-huh.
It was called Black Widow. And he just
that
stuck
didn't tip you off?
In it. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't even a stoner back then. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. And we dipped it in the toothpick. I put the whole thing in my mouth, and then I drooled for at least a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that ruined everything for me.
Well, I'm going to be up all night, but I also found something, and you're the only one that knows that I have this. So I found this at the gas station. I was trying to find a cranberry drink because I couldn't find the cranberry turkey ravioli at Aldi's. So this is ginger snapped Mountain Dew. And I don't drink Mountain Dew anymore. I quit after I got my kidney stone. So this is the first Mountain Dew I've had in like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Well, it smells like gingerbread.
Hello, Dee. And also...
Hi, Dee. How are you?
Yeah. Yes. How are you doing?
Weird. It's lemony, but it's got like that back flavor of like gingerbread, like the the warm spice of gingerbread. Like you can smell it. Like as I'm breathing, I can smell gingerbread. If that makes any sense.
It does. Do you guys have ginger snap cookies? Do you make ginger snap cookies?
Do you see how chunky we Americans are? We have everything. Every gluttonous thing you could think of.
Molasses is wonderful on toast. I'm a fan. And
I haven't tried that yet. And the other thing that I want to try is, I want to try Vegemite. Or what's the other one? There's an English version of it, and then there's Vegemite, which is Australian, and I still want to try those.
You're brave. I'm scared, but you know what? If you you're
hey
brave.
Eric.
Hello, Eric. Sorry, I have to be reading the chat. I'm not focused. It's helpful when you throw it on the screen because I'm realizing I look at that a lot more than the side.
I've been trying to find that. Good to know it's okay. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I still haven't found I wanted to find the Cheetos one, Fiery Hot Mountain Dew, and I haven't been able to find that.
Interesting.
But this was interesting enough. I was like, I gotta find something. I mean, that's more Christmas to me than Thanksgiving. But then I was like, I don't know. This is something different that I could try with this.
Is pumpkin spice
pizza, which I'm now burping back up. Now, you guys have Canadian football. Is it how? I mean, maybe you don't know. I don't know how much you watch Canadian football. Is it similar to American football, or is it?
I think the only difference, perhaps, might be that I think the field's longer. I don't know. I don't know the difference. We're not as good. That's probably rude to say.
Well, I mean, people are obsessed in this country with the sport. I mean, it's. That and basketball or in baseball are those are the top three, and then hockey. Now, where I live in Detroit, hockey is big because the Red Wings until the last 4 or 5 years have always been a great hockey team.
Yeah, Red Wings is a good hockey team.
Yeah, and I mean they're fun to watch this year because we've got some young guys coming up, and so they've been fun to watch this year. But that's why hockey's big here. But you get out into I didn't know anything about hockey. I didn't even know hockey existed until we moved to Michigan. I didn't even know.
That. Yeah, I grew up like, having to go watch hockey games on weekends of cousins and friends and family, and hockey was huge. Also, so was, baseball is pretty big here too. We do have the Blue Jays, and they won. So thanks for that, means something. In basketball, I think the Raptors won too. So I feel like we're working our way up to the sports team, like in the major leagues in the sense. But I feel like when it comes to football, we still are very, it's very small. Like even in high school and like college, that's not a big thing here.
Okay.
Yeah, sports.
I heard that you do have college football though. I heard that on the radio.
College football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something I didn't know until I heard it on the sports radio. I listen to sport, like I am so anti like Barbie type of a girl. I listen to sports radio in the morning, but I'm a huge Michigan State football fan, and until they lost this weekend, it had been like a fairy tale season. So I listen to them in the morning because they're funny, and the Lions are so bad that it's funny to listen to them talk about that. But then like when they talk about basketball, I do this. It's kind of like this.
I know nothing about basketball.
Well, I don't know how tall you are, but I'm 6'3". So I got sick of, because the first question out of everybody's mouth, do you play basketball? No! Just because I'm tall does not mean I play basketball.
I had no idea until you said it. I think it was on Johnny's podcast, or maybe you brought it up in another video. But when you brought that up, I was surprised because I'm 5'5".
I've got almost a foot on you.
Yeah, but you know what? My best friend's 5'9", so it's like I get it. Like it's but my girlfriend's 5'2". We're all over the place here.
Well, so is John right now. Barbie spelled backwards is evil. God, I love that guy.
Also, lacrosse is kind of a thing apparently in Canada.
See, that's a rich person sport down here. Like that and horseback riding are rich people sports in the U.S. Lacrosse and the sport that I love to watch, but I do not understand it at all, is rugby. I love watching rugby.
In high school, like the coach on the rugby team was like, I don't even care if you can't run. I just want you on the team, because I was a bigger girl like in high school. And I'm like, listen, I don't want to be punched in the face. I'm not down with that. But they're like, we need your power. And I'm like, I can't do it. It's too brutal, that sport. It's straight up like football without any like padding at all.
Oh, no, and just as much contact. It's insane, and it looks very brutal. Hang on, I'm gonna try and bring this up. So this is one of the things that I don't know if you've heard of this. Hang on, I don't want your offers. I just want to use your website for a second. Girl. So this is something I've never tried. I've always wanted to, because it kind of goes with Thanksgiving, and it became like a thing a few years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay, are you about to talk about the Tur-duck-en?
Have you ever had a Tur-duck-en, or have you ever heard of it before?
I've heard of it on, oh my gosh, it's a YouTuber.
Curling.
They made it and they ate it. I forget who did it, but I am blown away that this exists. Blown away.
It blows my mind. So they completely debone a chicken. They shove that inside of a duck. It's completely deboned. And then they put that inside of a mostly deboned turkey along with some stuffing.
Wow.
Has anybody in here ever tried Tur-duck-en, or would you try Tur-duck-en? Because I really, really, really want to try it, but I'm kind of nervous at the same time.
I'm not against it, obviously. Because I personally, have you had duck?
Yeah, I've had duck before.
I've had duck as well, but only recently. That like the last like 2 years, I realized I enjoy it a lot. Also, duck fat fries.
Oh, wow. So good.
Genius. Poutine with anything. Poutine. Add buffalo chicken. You can make it into a creation if you want.
Now, Detroit, because like obviously we're right across the river. And we call it poutine, so I'm sure that's not how you guys say it, but we call it poutine. And it's made its way over here, but they have also Americanized it. So, it's not so much using the cheese curds as they do different kinds of cheeses, and there's different kinds of meats on it. And
American cheese.
Some of them have gravy, some of them just have a sauce on it, but like realistic, real Canadian. You said poutine?
Yeah, we say poutine. It's I have a French background, so that's how you say it in Quebec. So poutine is correct as well. I always get corrected, so.
Well, oh yeah, Dee, I would not try and make that because I'm not good enough at butchering it. But night, Mom. My mom's sewing blankets for puppies.
Thank you so much for hanging out. You're awesome, and also you've made a wonderful woman.
Yeah, there's no way I would butcher this, but I would totally buy one to say that I tried it.
The guy, yeah, I would never be able to make this though. But Dee, if you could, go ahead, get it, girl.
Also, so Johnny said he has tried it.
I tried it at Just School. Cool.
What about mashed potatoes? Any Canadian touches to the dish? So are there things that you've seen that Americans have for like Thanksgiving that you guys do like a little bit differently? Or like are there certain dishes that are Canadian that are like staples for your Thanksgiving?
That's a good question because like we for like I said, the turkey. Sometimes we'll switch it up if we can't get like a good price on a turkey. We'll do a ham or a roast beef. Mashed potatoes are big as well. We love that. Stuffing, green beans, squash. We use like squash like mashed with brown sugar and maple sugar and maple syrup, sorry. And you mix that up. It's like a sweet squash mixture. That's awesome.
So you guys do that instead of like our version, like sweet potatoes?
Yeah, we do sometimes do sweet potatoes, but they're not like we choose, I guess, just a regular potato over the sweet potato. Those are like more like a treat to us, I guess.
Ooh, Johnny says Dee puts bacon and cheese in her mashed potatoes.
Ooh, bacon. I put some cheese, so that's smart. Bacon is a very good idea because bacon is great for everything. And I'm trying to think.
Night, John. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thank you for everything. You're awesome. Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know. For dessert, pumpkin pie. We've done pumpkin pudding. Trying to I don't know. That's really it. Like Thanksgiving, we celebrate it. It's very important. It's just like I feel like we've just very much so adopted a lot of your original the European American traditions. Other people probably do, other than the roast beef. Also mushy peas. I don't know about that.
And the mushy peas is more of an English thing, is my understanding. So that came over from the UK.
Yes.
I have not tried mushy peas that I'm aware of, although I ate a lot of things in England and I had no idea what I was eating. But that's something because I love peas, and so I've always wanted to try mushy peas. Eric wants to know is if you have a 24-hour marathon of A Christmas Story on Christmas Day like we do.
No, we don't. I do have a fun fact about The Christmas Story, though. That was shot in my hometown.
Shut up!
Fun fact, St. Catharines, Ontario. Yeah.
So like you could go to these places right now, or like I'm sure, and like take pictures. Like, is the Chinese restaurant there?
I might still, you know what? Maybe I should just do it in a video because to be honest, I haven't watched that movie in years due to the fact that one of my favorite Christmas movies is Die Hard. So like that's my vibe. And Rudolph, okay, I gotta give it to that. Yeah. But A Christmas Story is such a classic, and I know so much history behind it due to the fact that it was shot in like my home city, that I never really thought about doing that. That's a great idea, like the Chinese, because I'm curious if any of those things would still be there.
I know that they talked about filming in Canada, and then obviously they filmed some of it in Cleveland. And there is a video, and it might be on YouTube. I don't remember if it was YouTube or I bought it. Caitlin,
never seen
travesty. And it's on for 24 hours. Can you please? You don't even have to watch it and talk about it. Can you please just watch it once this year? TBS, 24 hours. Watch it once. Watch it through one time.
It is a very good movie.
I'm begging you. But I know that, well, obviously the house is in Cleveland, and they've actually some people purchased it and actually completely recreated it and actually redid the inside of it. So because they just used the outside shots for the house, the inside were sets, and that house wasn't set up the same way that they were on the sets. So they actually reconfigured the inside of the house so that the stairs were where the stairs were supposed to be, and the kids' rooms were where they were supposed to be, and all that kind of stuff. And they've put the same wallpaper in. You can rent out the house and have your own Christmas story night, which,
oh my god, that's pretty magical.
That would be like life dream come true. I mean, to go there, spend the night. I've always wanted a Red Ryder BB gun. My brother got me a BB gun for Christmas, but it's not the Red Ryder. So it's really cool, and it helps me keep the squirrels off the garage. But it's not a Red Ryder.
There you go. It's not a Red Ryder. I think I tried to send you a link of where it was filmed in Ontario. I don't know if it will pop up like for you. I tried.
Let me see if it came through.
2 shooting weeks of 9.
My brother's like, why are you asking me questions about this? I'm like, just relax.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's soundstage in Toronto and on location in St. Catharines, Ontario. Now I need to know exactly where, and I will figure it out, and I'll do a video because that's amazing. See, I just knew that it was shot there. I don't know like much about where. Never thought of that.
No, that's amazing. I want to say, I think the restaurant is somewhere in Canada. I think that's where it was. Not right. What is with the pop-ups? Okay, so it says 5,000 fans in Cleveland, Ohio, 30th anniversary. Something of a red herring. Very, very little of the film. 2 shooting weeks of 9, in fact, were filmed in the city, and what has become a shot. The rest of it was found in staged from Toronto location. Oh, really?
Oh, Victoria Public School in St. Catharines is where the principal sent a letter home to parents.
Now, I heard that school was torn down.
I think that might have actually been. I'm going to look it up right now.
I think Victoria, that they let the crew that was doing this kind of behind the scenes thing that they did. I think that if I remember correctly, they let them in, and they were literally going to demolish the school the next day, or it was turned into. It was not going to be a school anymore. Maybe they kept the building, but they turned it into something else. Something happened, and it was like it just happenstance that they were able to go in and actually sit in the same classroom where he had class.
So yeah, it has been permanently closed, and I guess I think if they've demolished it, that's insane too. This is so crazy. See the stuff you learn, because it's like the movie was so iconic, and it's like I know that St. Catharines actually has quite a few historic monuments. There's also a church where Harriet Tubman ran the Underground Railroad through right downtown, and so like that's very like St. Catharines pretty historical. Niagara-on-the-Lake is very historical, and obviously Niagara Falls is just pretty cool in general. All that's like within 20 minutes of where I am right now.
So a fun fact about the part where he sticks his tongue to the pole. Yeah, they actually had suction that was coming down through the back. So they drilled a hole in there, so the tip of his tongue is in a little hole. And then they had suction, so when he was pulling back on it, it would look like it was stuck to the pole.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I can't. There was something that he put on there about where that restaurant was.
A Christmas Story. I can maybe try to Google that. A Christmas Story.
See what I mean about everything goes sideways? I have no set anything.
Also, it says here, you live in Thorold. I used to live in Thorold. That's amazing. Look at that. Small world. I've been all over the place in my area. I think it is in Toronto, actually, that restaurant you're talking about.
Okay. And I think Toronto's only like a 2.5, 3 hour drive for me.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours from me, too. 1.5 hours.
We have salt beef and cabbage. That sounds good. I don't know what it is, but I mean, anything beefy and cabbagey is awesome.
I know that is amazing. Newfoundland is beautiful. I had family from Nova Scotia, And I don't know if it was Thanksgiving in particular. I thought it was Easter in my mind, but my grandpa would always make lobster, like lobster sandwiches and fish cakes and everything, but it would be right from like he would go and catch them in Nova Scotia, bring them home, and we would have like these lobsters that are like this big. It was insane.
Lucky girl.
Yeah.
I grew up in the South,
and caught them.
We could like drive 10 minutes from where we were staying at Myrtle Beach, and the shrimp boats would be coming in, and like literally like, you know, an hour off the boat, you're getting fresh shrimp. Or we went out one day and we probably, if it would have been adults, would have gotten thrown in jail, but we caught like 40 blue crab. So we ended up doing a crab boil that night. And, you know, like that's what I grew up on as far as seafood. It wasn't until we got older, my dad started making money, that I actually got to taste lobster for the first time.
Right. Yeah. I think like that was just my way in of trying lobster at an early age, was that my grandpa like was a fisherman. I also was given the opportunity to go to Tim Hortons camp here in Canada when I was 12. And they sent me for 10 days to Nova Scotia by myself, like with a whole bunch of kids.
Right.
But they provided like all the food. We did get Timbits and like hot chocolate
as
and
much
stuff.
Coffee as you wanted to drink.
Right? Double, please. But we were actually able to go. We went clam digging one morning. We were able to go and like have our own clams. They served us like very authentic food from Nova Scotia, oysters, all that stuff. So that was a really amazing experience. And I got to meet some amazing people during that. So
that's super cool.
Yeah.
I have a Tim Hortons. It's like literally like a half a mile from me. But the line is always so crazy that I hardly ever go there. Like I have to hit it at the right time, or you know, I'll be late for work. So
the longest I've ever waited I'm pointing, but the longest I've ever waited in a Tim Hortons line is when I went to go visit Johnny Funko, and I was in line for at least a half hour. Never in my life have I done that, but I was like, I need my coffee, and I was dedicated.
And they have good coffee. They really do have good coffee.
I think they lace it with something, because there can't be, like, even when I buy it, I can't make it. I can't make it taste like that. But cream is the key.
I'm into this small brand of coffee. It's called Bones Coffee.
Okay.
Look it up. They've got some really, really Bones Coffee Company. Look up the different flavors that they have.
I will.
Oh man, they're amazing. The Fudge actually has like a version of Ralphie on it. That one's super good. My mom got me the birthday suit one, so it kind of had a birthday cake kind of a flavor to it. That one was great. But there's all kinds of them, and it's small batch. I hope they ship to Canada. I'm not sure, but if not, tell me what flavor you want. I'll get it and I'll ship it over to you. But
I'm gonna have to get it.
Brandon,
I think it might ship to Canada. It really sucks that some things don't.
My mom gets it all the time. Like she'd be like, "Hey, you got to stop over." There was a Jamaican Me Crazy one, and that was caramel and something flavored. It had to have something Jamaican to it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they're oh man, they have a donut one, and it literally, that's why it reminded me of like the Tim Hortons thing too, is because literally it tastes like you're drinking like coffee and having a donut at the same time. It's insane.
Right? Apparently, I don't know if this is true. I've yet to try it. We have ice caps, right? And apparently there's this thing called a Stanley Cup that you can order. It's an ice cap. They put a chocolate donut and 2 Timbits on the straw, and it's supposed to look like it. I've never in my life, but it's all over TikTok. And I'm like, I don't know if I should try it, but
there's a lot of things on TikTok that was the other thing I want to do. Is my mom thinks I should try, like, go to like pull up these TikTokers and try and make what they're saying that they're making and see if it actually works or not, or if it just, you know, like they completely cook something different and it didn't go along with it. And I've thought about doing that, but there's also a lot of things on TikTok that I'm just like,
right. I don't know how. I know what, I downloaded it as a joke, and then I just kept it.
Do you have to ruin everything? Like, do you understand that Christmas is coming, you turd?
There you go. I actually have really thought about, because like it's been inspiring that I doing my stream, I've reached out to a lot of different people around the world, right? Like people have like watched me, and just like the fact that you guys don't have some of the stuff that we have and vice versa, it would be cool to like maybe do like a Canada care package and just start sending them out to certain viewers and subscribers, and just like try, because it's like, but like I wouldn't mind making it more personalized for specific people.
So, I mean, I think that's a great idea, and I'm going to piggyback off of that. And we do these things called swaps.
Yes.
So, you send. In some cases, it's themed, or they have a wish list that you're going off of, like we did with the Christmas swap. And in some cases, it's kind of a get to know the person who sent you better kind of a thing. Okay. But I think that would be cool if we could do that, and there were channels from all over the world that would want to participate in doing this. And I know it's expensive to ship from, especially right now in the holidays, because everybody raised their rates. But I think that's a great idea, and if we could get enough people, I know that Johnny had people from the Philippines, I think, watching the other night. Welsh Dragon and some of those guys are from the UK. Yeah. But to do something like that, where it's a swap off of Americans, is that Cassie?
Yeah, that's Cassie.
Hi, Cassie. To do a swap off box like that, where it's kind of like the things that you can't get, because like what I've gotten for you and stuff like that is like the honey cheese curls, which is Better Maids that are here in Michigan, and some of those types of things. And I still have a whole box of cereal from Mark, but he never said it when he was shipping his, and I don't know. And then he moved, so then I didn't know where he moved to. I still don't know where he moved to now. But I have like 5 boxes of cereal, because he and I were going to do a cereal exchange, Canadian cereals versus American cereals, and I thought that would be fun.
That is, and that's what I'm curious about, is like also like what are the differences? What do you guys have that we don't? Because like I tried to look that up, and like they're like, I know that the original, like Coffee Crisp, Arrow, all dressed chips, I think dill pickle chips apparently.
No, we have dill pickle chips.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. See, they're not even telling me the truth, Google. I'm trying to think of other things, but like, that's what I mean. It's like, if I can actually find stuff that's really unique, that it would be cool to send over.
So, I mean, that's the thing, is we have a lot of things that, but you said, you have things that you don't. So I think like the quality of some of the stuff that you have is better, as far as like the smoked salmon and stuff, like the packaged salmon, like, because you have like Nova Scotia and the waters up there, whereas we dump everything in the world in our water. So I think like when you come to that, like lox and things like that, you guys have that better. The maple syrup, I think I mean, obviously it's on your flag. And I'm not saying that American quality maple syrup is not the same, but I just think that's what you think of when you think of Canada. You think of maple syrup and the quality of that. I don't know what else you got. I mean, we have like a million types of cheese, and we've got those areas. Obviously, anything beef. So we've got all kinds of specialty jerkies and things like that would travel. And I mean, if there's things that you want to try, like I want to make sure that I put a box together for you of things that you've always wanted to try. Send me a list of things that you're like, I've got to try this, or I've never had it before.
You actually mentioned, I believe, on screen with Johnny that you wanted to try different types of like jerkies and pepperettes, like, and stuff. I love pepperettes, but like I'm very picky, because here in Canada we have like Jack Links, and it's my favorite is the Great Canadian Meat, like that's the name of it, and but like those are like the 2 major brands, other than if there's like just like homegrown ones. But I actually, when I went up north, found crocodile pepperettes and kangaroo pepperettes, and really? I have some in my fridge.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so, I want to order them off of Amazon. That's one of the things I'm going to do before the end of the year too. Is there's like a 20, or it's like $20, and you get like 10 different types: and ostrich, alligator, buffalo.
Buffalo's good.
It was there was some normal beef. I think there was a turkey one. The gator. I don't know. There was a bunch of them, right? And so I wanted to do that because I've never tried some of those, and I've heard alligator tastes like chicken, but it's got the like texture of like a lobster or whatever kind of a thing. And then what was Lisa telling me about the other day? She was telling me I should try something that it tastes like lobster, but with the texture of chicken. Snake? I don't know. Somebody was telling me something that, like, it sounded good, but like in my brain I can't. Oh, frog legs. That's what she was telling me. So like it
frog
tastes
legs
like.
is very good.
Really?
Yeah. To me, I thought it tasted like chicken, but a little softer, like a soft, tender chicken. But that was just me. Maybe it was the way it was cooked too.
She said it tastes like lobster, but it had like more of a texture, like a chicken or something like that. And I'm like, I just like something freaks me out. Like I look at it and I'm just like, poor little frog.
I do feel bad about eating. That's my issue. But my other struggle is I love meat. That's another thing but I love animals so much that it's like, I don't know. Like a great example is I've eaten bear. I've had bear stew, all that stuff. But I also would let a bear hug me. So like, it just, I guess it just, what comes around goes around.
I don't think my brothers have ever shot bear. Like we have venison, so I can have venison whenever I want. We have freezers full of venison up at the farm.
Deer's great. Yeah.
My brother actually has gotten turkeys before too. So wild turkey, completely different than the Americanized stuff that you get in the grocery store. The meat was all much darker. It had a completely different flavor to it, but I managed to knock the gaminess out of it. It was actually, I did a chop challenge with my family, and that was one of the things is I had to use my brother's turkey that he had shot for that dinner. So been frog gigging before. No, Brandy has not been frog gigging before. One thing that somebody asked me the other day, they're like, would you ever eat a turtle? I'm like, nope.
I wouldn't eat a turtle either. No.
There's some absolutely love turtles.
I struggled with eating fish for a very long time because we have a cottage and we catch them. Like we would go fishing, and I just was around them all the time. That it was like when my grandma was like, all right, time to put the bleed on the fish. It was like, I don't want to eat it. I don't want to do it. It was like happening in front of my eyes. But then, when I was older, I tried it and I'm like, wow, I've been missing out. Cause like, it's like lake walleye or like pickerel, and we get it right fresh from the lake, and it's wonderful.
I've eaten walleye, and I think I told this to Johnny, but like I have this phobia of eating fish out of a lake, and I don't know why, because the oceans are so much more dirty. But I have eaten walleye. My brothers have caught it, and I've eaten it. We've done fish fries and stuff like that, and it's good. Yeah. I do not like fishy flavor though. I don't like that at all. And so I was concerned about sushi, but then I realized sushi, like if you get really fresh fish, it doesn't have that fishy flavor to it. Some of them still do because of the oil, but
you can get away with some like non-fishy sushi. Some of my favorite is mango sushi. Don't know why, but I love it.
Sharon says turtle soup is good. I can't.
Look at it, girl. You're brave.
Sharon, I can't do it. I'm the one that gets out of the car and runs them across the road, even though they're pee all over me. True story. Okay, so I know we got to get going soon because Eric and Sassy are coming on, but I do want to talk to you about one last thing.
Okay.
Boxing Day. You basically get an extra Christmas. Why?
Good question, because it's very stressful, and it's not. It's just like based around. What I thought was it was kind of like your Black Friday, but now I'm realizing that maybe Canadians are a little more brutal on Boxing Day.
So is Boxing Day just a shopping day? So it's like our Black Friday and it's just a shopping day? It's not like an extra holiday?
No, it's the day after Christmas that we all just go and shop, or like, oh, you didn't get to go see family on the 25th? Well, you have an extra day. Go ahead. Like, I don't, like, who knows what the heck Boxing Day really came from? I should have looked up that. I don't know why I didn't.
I didn't check that out, but I wanted to ask you that. The P thing is a defense mechanism, so no stranger danger. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Yes, I know that they're scared. I'm also trying to keep them from getting squished flat at 55 miles an hour. I'm surprised I haven't gotten hit yet. But I was like, Boxing Day. I'm like, so I thought it was like this whole national holiday, and it was like basically like an extra Christmas that you got. I didn't know it was more just shopping spree day.
Well, look here, I just looked it up. This is a fact right here. There are different stories as to how Boxing Day got its name. One explanation is that in the 19th century, December 26th was a day that servants to the wealthy English people got time off. The servants were given boxes with Christmas presents and food in them to take home to their families. So I guess it was technically a second Christmas for some people, or their first.
Or their first if you were a servant.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, slavery runs in the Canadian waves as well.
Yeah, but you guys seem to have a much more peaceful approach to it now than we do.
Politics is strange. I try to, my hardest to like be involved, but also like just stay over here, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think you have to love everybody to some extent. And that's what makes people good people is loving everybody no matter what their differences are, no matter what their faults are. And if you can't, then you really need to take a look at yourself in the mirror
and work.
But it's that. Like, I mean, you have to know the stereotypes of what people in America like. You guys say about.
We do. Apparently, we do say that and a lot.
Yeah. But I live in Michigan, and we're so close that some of the things that people think that Michigan people talk weird too. And then I have my, I grew up in the South, and so I can understand Angie and Christina like second nature,
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, I cannot understand what they are saying. I'm like, I do.
I've also never had an issue with any accents. Usually I'm like, I just feel like when it comes to listening to language, I can't pick it up very well. I can barely speak English well, but I'll give a person patience, right? Like I'll be patient with a person while they talk to me. If like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's all about learning and being, like you said, being kind to each other is very important. And that gets overlooked a lot, sadly.
Well,
and
we at least where I'm from, like we always think that Canadians are all like the kumbaya. We love each other. You guys have free healthcare and all that kind of stuff, and we're just like, oh, such a great country. It's up to the north. They still save their trees. They all love each other and hug and sing.
And we have polar bears and igloos. Well, it's hard because you know what, I do appreciate Canada to like for a lot of things, and I think that there's been a lot of things that have come out in the last couple of years, sadly, that have had an impact on a lot of Canadians in a negative way, in the sense of, I don't know if you heard about the mass graves that were found of all the children, but
no, I did not.
Of the indigenous people of, like, we had these things called I'm sorry, the name, residential schools, and indigenous children would be sent there, and sadly the government overlooked it for years, and it just came out now, I think like 50-60 years after all this. And it's just stuff like that it's like I where I want to be able to take pride in my country is when we take responsibility for the things we've done wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? So
Americans don't take responsibility for anything. I'll be like, I mean, just to end this on a light note and a joke,
yes,
we have a 5-year rule in my family. So there is crap that has happened at my parents' house or things that got broken or whatever. And as long as it's been at least 5 years later, we can no longer get in trouble for it. Now, none of us live at home.
I like that.
But like, there was a true story. My dad had just painted the third story room where we always hung out with our friends, TV room, kind of playroom, the computers and stuff were up there, old school AOL, dial-up and everything. And my dad had just painted it. Well, my brothers had left a string tied to a Ninja Turtle that they had been hanging out the third story window. I mean, they did things like like blow darts at my neighbor's siding and stuff like that, which just in the last 4 or 5 years have actually rusted out of it now. And so I thought it would be fun to hook the Ninja Turtle up to the fan, except I turned it up too high and he flew off and put a black Ninja Turtle two-toed mark right in my dad's new paint.
Oh no.
Well, we had family pizza nights and my parents didn't see it until they came up, and it was right by the television. Like, you could not miss this black mark, right? And my dad realized, like, he held the Ninja Turtle up, like, realized that it was off this Ninja Turtle's foot. And my brothers, God bless them, were both like, we didn't do it. Dad, I swear to God, we didn't do it. And I'm like, I didn't play with the Ninja Turtle. It was like probably 4 or 5 years ago. Now I was still living at home. I must have been 15 or 16. I'm 44 now. It was like 4 or 5 years ago that I finally fessed up to that.
I love that. That's great. There you go. See? And that's what I mean. It's okay. Even if it takes time, just accountability matters for people. So
absolutely.
Yeah. But I like that story because, the fact that your brothers didn't even try to step up and be like, all right, it was me.
Because it really wasn't.
It really wasn't them. So
they left us up there for hours, like trying to get it out of it. I mean, it was like interrogation, and nobody would fuss up to it. And finally, they broke down and finally let us go, right? And I was just like, escaped that one.
You saved it, yeah.
Well, dear, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It has been an absolute blast. I mean, I definitely want to have you back on again. We'll continue this conversation. It was a great conversation to have, and it's been a lot of fun. As a reminder, guys, I will not be on next week. Why? Because if you are not over on Funko Pops and Unicorns channel, there's something wrong with you. She has been putting together this fundraiser for Toys for Tots for a very long time. There are a ton of really cool items that are going to be available for auction next week. Everything from statues to pops to custom stuff. What else? Caitlin's, I don't know, there's a whole list, but the items are going to be on umptyscratch.net. The auction live will be taking place on Caitlin's channel, Funko Pops and Unicorns. So I will be on her channel for as long as she will have me, but we will not be live next week. I will be returning on the 23rd of November. That night, because it's going to be Thanksgiving week and everybody's going to be kind of focused on family and everything, it's just going to be a fun night. We'll play some games and do some stuff that night, just have fun. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Well, I'll see you next week, but I just won't be here. And we'll see you back on Geek Meets Eats in 2 weeks. Everybody, have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much. Anytime that you want to come back, you just let me know. Welcome anytime
that's awesome. Here. And thank you, everyone. You guys are all wonderful.
All right, guys, we're going to call it a night.